Welcome to the Tiger's Den. This is the voice of Cheryl, and I am Toothless Tiger. I have a good treat for everyone tonight, and I hope you're ready to receive her. With so much that's happening in the world today, we had a tragedy here in Texas. And so we want to take a moment just to reflect on life and how it can be gone in an instant. I appreciate everyone that has joined us. And I'm sure there will be more, but the show must go on. I want to do some shout outs before I get started with my illustrious guest, Mrs. Carolyn Jones. Salute, Longhead, my nephew. I love you, son. Tough love. Salute. Thank you for receiving my words. That was just for you. I think you're beautiful, and I think you're well needed. Sometimes we feel like giving up. I do too. But we're going to hang in here, and we're going to keep doing what our purpose is, and that's to talk to the people. Some are listening. We may not get the crowd we seek, but our gift is making room for us, and we're going all over the world, and we don't know who lives we touch. Gotti, salute. Laura, my dear daughter, salute. My number one fan. Thank you for being there. Keisha, salute. I have enough people here right now that I want to take this time to introduce the world to Miss Carolyn Jones. And when I say Miss, I mean Mrs. MRS. Carolyn, MBA Global Career Facilitator, GCDF 12026 member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, is CEO, founder of Chance of a Lifetime Coaching. Today, with her husband Ernest, they have been servicing constituents since 2016. Newly relaunched, Carolyn, a professional coach and consultant, is ready to offer over 20 years of social service, community enhancements, women outreach, and motivational speaking expertise to the masses. Let's ditch the myth that using a life coach means you are lazy or incompetent. Rather, it means so much more. It means you have someone walking with you on your journey. Reminds me of Michael Jackson, you're not alone. Carolyn is all about helping her clients achieve their personal and professional goals. The essence of her work is to facilitate self-growth by helping you identify the core challenges and setbacks in your life so that you can overcome them with confidence. Carolyn specializes in creating personalized plans and providing tools to guide you forward and achieve your desired goals. Every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m., Carolyn airs via Facebook Live. Y'all, it started raining real hard, so that's why I'm sounding like a robot. Please forgive me. I'm just hearing the rain outside the window, so forgive me. Facebook Live, her program called Conversations with Carolyn, stimulating, educating, and bringing awareness to relative hot topics, issues, various authors, philosophers, ideologists, self-thinkers, and other entities are highlighted. As a prolific commentator, training director, and program developer, Carolyn has created programs, piloted programs, created monitoring groups among other resourceful activities. She takes pride in developing vision board activities and many self development workshops and curriculums. An avid Maya Angelou lover, she loves to leave a resonation with her audience. If you are always trying to be normal, you will never know how amazing you can be. A wife, mother, and grandmother, Carolyn lives emphatically in her signature statement: move forward with confidence, inspired by her mother's awesome legacy of serving others with dignity and pride unconditionally. Chance of a Lifetime Coaching, let's journey together to live the longest, healthiest, and most fulfilling life ever. And Chance of a Lifetime, she has, if you would look down at the trickles, she has an IG address and a Facebook address. Now, if you would, allow me to introduce to you Mrs. Carolyn Jones. Hello, Carolyn. Welcome to the Tiger's Den.
Hello, Cheryl. How are you? And thank you for inviting me to the Tiger's Den. I am so glad to be here.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So, Carolyn, I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and please give us all you got. Let me say a little, let me put a little respect on a few people that came in. I want to salute Ernest and Too Cool. Thank you. Illegal to Society. Thank you. Retro 813. Thank you for being here. Eric O. Kareem 251. Thank you. Salute. A Powers. I'm not going to call you what we call each other because we're in a very important meeting today. But you know, I love you, girl. Thank you for that video for Uncle Sugar. It was absolutely beautiful. And that's Cinco 3. Thank you for being here. John Shannon, you know I love you. And thank you for being here. Okay, Carolyn, I'd like to ask you, what do you want the followers to know about you? And what do you feel is your purpose?
Well, thank you for asking, Cheryl. What I would want everyone to know about me to this evening is that I am a soul. I'm just a soul. I'm a soul here that has been created. And I think that my purpose is the life I've lived. It's the life that I have discovered. You know, we all have those aha moments, right? And I realized that while I was so busy trying to find my purpose, I realized my purpose was who I was living right now. So every day I'm living in my purpose and being that soul being that has been created. And the number one thing I want to do on my journey is to make other souls happy.
That's beautiful.
That's who I am.
That is beautiful. And I mean, you know, you can just feel the energy exuding through the computer. And that's beautiful. Okay, and I would like to know, what is Chance of a Lifetime coaching? What is that about?
Wow, thank you. Chance of a Lifetime coaching, it's an evolution. I discovered Chance of a Lifetime coaching years and years and years ago. And I didn't bring it to fruition until around 2016. But Chance of a Lifetime coaching is a professional life strategist program that helps one be able to find themselves, discover themselves, and be on their journey with a very proactive curriculum that's designed just for them. We have a customized system because what we realize is that we are all unique individuals. We all have our own set of DNA. And there's no cookie cutter pattern here at Chance of a Lifetime Coaching. So what we do is we customize each individual's personal stride, whatever your journey is. We have a journey that's made from life coaching, spiritual, and health and wellness coaching straight to career coaching. So we are a program that have been formulated, and you know how it is working the 9 to 5. We started and it just didn't kick off initially, right? But
Mm-hmm.
through the pandemic, I was able to feel the burst of energy that God had purposed in me because there were so many people, so many conversations, so many obstacles that actually were overcame by just a conversation, by strategies that I was able to help implement someone to help them on their way. So that's what Chance of a Lifetime Coach is. It's a comprehensive self-help development program to help people on their journey in life.
Fantastic. You mentioned the word here, and so I want you to kind of expound on that a little bit because I think one of the problems we have as a people, we don't understand the concept that if anything happened for you in life, you're going to have to make it happen. So when you
Oh
say
yeah.
self help, can you just speak a little bit to the self help part, that we have to participate?
Most definitely, because one thing about it, self help is acquiring the self love first. You know, a lot of times people will get the self care, self help, and integrate them as one, and they're actually two distinct things, which gives us to that self help. Because self love is that feeling, that connection that you make with yourself that tells you, you know what, strength, integrity, and courage just showed up. That's
Hmm.
that self-love that you feel like I don't care what's going on around me. I know who I am because I've overcome this. I've
Hmm.
overcome that. A lot of times we look at success as being an expectation, a materialistic gain, a professional accolade. But a lot of times our success is just 10 minutes ago. We're better than who we were 10 minutes ago. We're better
That's
than who we
beautiful.
were 10 years ago. And our own success creates that self love that we need to be able to generate the self care. So the self care comes in, all right, I love myself. You know, I really know that I can do this. You know, in spite of everything, I can do this. And then you start putting that self care in action. And that's where you start taking care to develop your self love. So you're going to initiate those areas of whether it's meditating, whether it's spa, whether it's fitness, you know, whether it's walking, bowling. And your self care is designed exactly what you like to do. Because, see, everybody's self care is not going to resonate with you. So when you
Hmm.
get the self love, and then you get the self care. And that's where all of the self enhancement comes in. Because before you can be proactive about anything, you got to have the mindset. You
Hmm.
can't move unless your mind says it's okay to go. And a lot of
Hmm.
times our mind becomes handicapped. Our mind becomes disabled. Our mind becomes tangled by the web of what somebody else told us, by circumstance that we have had in front of us. But I'm a living testimony. I've been through atrocity after atrocity after atrocity. And I'm still standing. I'm sitting in this chair, but I'm still standing, you know, because I'm standing in the power. So I hope I was able to answer your question about what
Beautifully.
is self-care, what is self-development. And because that development is going to come in your process, it's going to become in your journey, it's going to come in that very first move that you decide to make. So once you
Oh,
get
that's
it in your
beautiful.
mind, it's going to connect with that soul. And I don't care if you have to start over 50 times, there's always that one more time. There's
One more time.
always that one more time. So this may be somebody's one more time. This may be somebody's one more time that you've said to yourself, you know what? I said I was going to put down those donuts. I'm going to tell you something real quick. My husband loves sweets. I'm trying to get rid of sweets. I'm quote unquote diabetic, right? So I'm like, baby, okay. But just last week, I was eating those donuts. Yes, I was, and knowing I wasn't supposed to eat them, but my self love kicked in. My
Mm-hmm.
self-care kicked in. Carolyn, another piece of that donut because I had put it in my mouth and I had started consuming. I was eating it, and
Mm.
self-love kicked in, and I spit it out, and I haven't eaten any more donuts. But you know how that came so quickly? Because it had got into practice. And that's one thing about self-care and self-love. You can't do it one thing and expect for it to kick in. It's just like
Mm-hmm.
losing weight. You can't just walk 1 mile and think that weight's going to fall off. No, it's a practice. It becomes a part of your lifestyle. So
Mm-hmm.
self-care, self-development, it's a continuous movement of the mind that's connecting with the soul. And then you move on it
That's
and move on
beautiful.
it. Move. Yeah.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So, Carolyn, what or who is your intended audience?
Everyone. Absolutely everyone. And when I say everyone, a lot of times my primary focus gets generated to the women because we women are in a place where we're always trying to slate ourselves. We're trying to educate ourselves. We trying to become more aware so that we can make our families better. So we women often gravitate to me more easily, but my
Okay.
targeted audience is the general population.
That's beautiful. I want to say salute, swag. And I think that's a little TXL. And salute, Bernice Foreman. Thank you guys for joining us. We're so happy to have you. Wilma made a statement, and it's so true. She said, and we as women take care of everyone else before ourselves, not realizing
Absolutely.
that if we care for ourselves, we can care better for everyone else. And what I'd like to add to that is we do a lot of the caring for everyone else, but a lot of our men worry more than everyone else because the
Absolutely.
weight of the family and the weight of who he is as a man is upon him. And he has so much to face when he walk out of his door. You know, hopefully
Yes.
everything is okay at home, but when you walk out your door, you got to face your neighbor. Then you got to face the bum or whoever you want to call the person. Maybe they're not a bum. Maybe they're just homeless. You got to face them and ward them off. Then you got to get to work. Then you got to ward off the women at the job and then the boss.
Hmm.
So he is constantly in a battle, and we don't give them enough credit for trying to be the man that we expect for them to be. And that's why this program that you offer is so good because so often we think only women need to get help, but we all can use help. And I believe that with my whole heart. And listening to you,
Absolutely.
I mean, it's something that we all should think about so much so.
And
How
Shirley, I'm
long have you
so
been
glad
doing
that
this?
I'm glad that you said that, Shirley. I've been doing this since 2000. I've actually been in the social care industry over 20 years. And
Okay.
so you said something that's very prolific, and I want the masses to hear this. We are so adamant about caring for ourselves, and we're so adamant the women's that you are right. Our men need to be upheld to the point to where they know that they are worthy because society has put
Yes.
them down. They have all
Yes.
type of systems from the slavery, from the Mandingo warrior, putting them all over plantations to
Yes.
pregnate all the other slave women so that they could have financial income coming on the
Hmm.
plantations. Then you go into the child support system. Then you go into,
Yes.
there's so many entities that our men got left behind. And I'm not denoting the successes of women. Please don't get me wrong. All I'm
No.
saying is there is a time, and I think that time is now, that our
Yes.
men should look at the women, at our melanin women, at our women, and say, she's precious, she's gorgeous, I'm going to take care of her, whatever that is. And we women will look at our men and will say, you know what, baby, I got your back. It doesn't matter what it is. And once again, it comes to customization. Everything in your life is customized. So just
Yes.
because mama had a picture perfect marriage and grandma had a picture perfect marriage and your peers have this and that and the other, it really doesn't matter. you make sure that you love. It goes back to that soul tie. It goes back to the self-love. Women, love yourself first, like the sister said, so you can be there for someone else. So, but I just had to put that out there because I think now is a time that we need to understand the magnitude and the power that we have as a melanin power couple. And I think if we could just gravitate that into part of our souls, that we can create and begin to thread a new fabric of our
Yes.
community. I just
Well, I
believe
think
that.
I do too, and I think one of the things, and I'm a stickler on our men because they're our sons. And when I realized, in my journey, finding out that we were a matriarchal system, and in our bodies we don't carry male eggs, all are feminine, and so the male definitely comes from us. So a lot of the issues where we expect them to do certain things, it is a nation can only rise as high as they view the women. So we as mothers have to put on the
Mm-hmm.
mother cap, not be his mother. You know what I'm saying? If it's your mate or if
Right.
it's your husband, but you got to be a mother and then
That's
nurture
true.
that man because of all of that you just named that they've had to go through, and yet are still on the plantation going through every day. It is not
Exactly.
easy for a brother. And my brother
Mm-mm.
told me when we were growing up, all that shit mama told y'all about not fighting and all that. He said that don't work for men. It don't work for us. And he was a boy then. He said because they're gonna try you, and so when they try you, what do? And everybody, if you ever hear men talk, or if you ever known anybody went to prison, or if you're ever seen anybody in the military, the common word that everybody use is respect. You're going to respect
Mm-hmm.
me. Now, a lot of people
Yeah.
don't even respect themselves, but they're going to demand that you respect them. So I love what you're saying. I mean, it really, it's needed. And like you said, the time is
Absolutely.
now. So let me ask you a question. When did you know that it was time to create your business?
Wow. That question has so many, there's a variety of answers for that. But the main aha moment that I had that I know it was time was when I had the awesome opportunity to work with a group of young ladies. And in working with these young ladies, there were people who not only did the enrollment, not only did the state application, not only did what they were supposed to do for get a job, but they realized that everything that they had done according to the system, it just wasn't working.
Mhm.
So I was able to help facilitate them through beyond the bite. So I was able to coach them into, hey, you got this. Don't worry about that. Don't worry. One woman, she had lost her husband. She had lost all her income. And
Mm.
so according to what the system had her doing, she would be waiting months and months and months before any movement was on that case. And another
Mm.
young lady, she had lost her job due to technicalities, you know how things go, and she was
Mhm.
just having a hard time. So I realized that I helped finagle them through situations. That lady left out of my office that day with, you know what, Miss Jones, I think I can. I think I can. She
Mm.
followed advice. She followed my curriculum, and I didn't develop a curriculum, but I told her step by step what to do. I offered her my time off the clock. We talked.
Mm.
We got real talk, and I said, let me tell you one thing. I can't help you unless you're real.
Mhm.
I'm just real. So if you're not want to be transparent enough to let me know what's really going on, I can't help you. And
Mhm.
we got to talking real stuff. And it was when I became transparent and we shared likenesses and we shared commonalities. She trusted me. And when she trusted me, she followed the process.
That
She
was
got the
awesome.
job. To that day, that young lady is still working. And every time something comes up, she calls me. And so it was then that I realized there's something to the conversation. There's
Mm-hmm.
something to, and it was event, situation after situation. Everyone was calling me, and I was having solutions, and these solutions had some favorable ends. And then going through the pandemic, we lost some things in the pandemic. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I was kind of scared of those PPLs. I'm like, I don't know now because I have a smell. I don't know because whatever. But people are saying you can do this and you can do that. But I'm a scaredy cat, and I'll cry at the drop of a hat. So I'm like, I didn't want to get caught up in too much of that. But
Mm-hmm.
that's when I realized I had a gift, and my gift came out of my passion, and that was when I realized that I had something, and it was the reward of knowing the process is great. All you have to do is facilitate, maneuver, and master. And mastering isn't a one-time thing. When you master, you just start a new journey. Mastering continues.
Okay, that's fantastic. Now, Wilman posed a question, and I have an answer for this, but I can't wait to hear your answer. And the question is, so should we come as a couple to encourage each other? I would love to hear your
Absolutely.
answer.
Absolutely. You should come as a couple to encourage each other, because one thing about it, it goes back to my word of transparency. When we come to each other, you come not 50-50. Throw that out the room, ditch that everywhere. You come to each other 100%,
100.
100%. You bring in 100, he's bringing 100. Because as things will come, the tide will turn, it's going to shift. If you only bring 50 and he only brings 50, then when those things start leveraging down, you don't have 100. You don't have any room for error. So with you bringing 100, he bringing 100, you got room for overflow. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's real important that we do come together to encourage each other, and the dialogue is a must. Find out how your partner communicates. You may communicate in a totally different way than your partner does. I know my
Mm-hmm.
husband and I, we communicate totally different. He's a Leo, he's quiet. I'm an Aries, and I'm chitter chatter. I'm sociable. I'm sociable. But however, when it comes down to the stringency of handling business, I had to learn how to communicate with him, because I'm thinking you should know and you should listen to me. And you should, no, 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 no. I had to learn to respect first and understand later. And I think a lot of times we try to understand then respect. And I
Mm-hmm.
and I have discovered in my journey, in my developments, that you must respect first and then understand. And sometimes you may not ever understand. If you can respect and then come to a medium and your balance is still there, y'all still vibing, you can laugh about what you went through and keep on moving. That's it. So I
That's
think
it.
it's very important that we do encourage each other.
Okay, that's good. And I guess that would be good for a life coaching situation, because what I
Yes,
found
ma'am.
in my experiences, especially if you're trying to develop as an individual, I always see things as an individual, because only you
Mhm.
can take care of you. And then I
Right.
can see you coming together at home. You know, we both can go for life coaching, but I can't see us going together, because it can present problems if you wanting to talk about something that's really bothering you. You've never shared it with another human being. The first person you share it with, you don't want it to be your spouse, because it then becomes ammunition to use against you. You need to learn. For me, that's what happened to me. So that was my experience, but that doesn't mean that that's true for every situation. So that's why I was couldn't wait to hear your
Mhm.
answer.
Absolutely. You're right. And when it comes to coaching, I am not a marriage counselor and I am
uh,
not a therapist. Let me put the
See that?
disclaimer
That's
out
good.
there. I am a life strategist, and I am a life career professional. I've had over 20 years of working with human services, implementing
Beautiful.
my own social programs. However, and then just having obtained the knowledge experiences to to be able to fully decipher, have a spirit of discernment and judging some things. And so that's where my experience and knowledge base level come from. And I've seen where even when you come to a coaching experience, I don't do couples coaching. I do life coaching, spiritual, and I also do career coaching. I don't do marriage couples because I am not a therapist. And absolutely, thank you for that. But
Yeah, that's
I do encourage both people to become a part of the coaching program. And at some point, believe it or not, once you start the development process, it will integrate to where you all will be able to come together as one. So
mm,
I truly concur that you consider that.
beautiful. I
Yes,
love the way you did
yes,
that because yeah, and that's what people need to know the difference because you know your expectations could be one thing, but you know
yeah,
you're totally different. And what you're trying to do, and it's so sad that we don't have people just here with pen and paper trying to grab all of this free knowledge, you know, and we say that we want to be better people and we want us to build, but we don't have over 50 people sitting here listening to us. And that's okay. Because if we can help one person, we've helped somebody. And that's what it's all about.
absolutely,
And I want
absolutely.
to thank you for the Cash App. Thank you. But all I'm saying is, it is so sad. We want to build, we say we want to build,
Hmm.
but nobody is willing to put in the work. And here you have a plan and you had some success stories. I want to ask you a question. And that question is, what are some of the sessions and what are some of the prices of the sessions?
Sure. Okay. Yes, we have various sessions. We have the life coaching sessions. We have spiritual coaching sessions. There are health and wellness sessions. We also have career coaching. We have different curriculums from loving yourself to health and wealth. We have different self development programs. Communication, how to have effective communication. A lot of times we are not sure about what to say, when to say it, how to say it. So one thing about Chance of a Lifetime coaching is we integrate a session so that we can help you feel comfortable about communicating effectively. So it's not so much about trying to find all the big words and all of this, but it's all about you owning and being able to be comfortable with how it is that you present yourself. And that's the number one difference. So, and there are other sessions. Now, our life coaching sessions, they are $50 for 30 minutes of sessions. We are Loving Yourself to Health and Wealth. It is a 3-day online session, and that one is $200. We have another, most of our sessions are between $97, $200, and it just depends on whatever session that is going on. For instance, coming up, we have a 3-day masterclass coming up, and it is finding your frequency. That's right, it's a masterclass on self expressions and self authenticity. A lot of times we have the power, we just don't take the time to activate on it. So the question
Mm-hmm,
is, you have the power, will you do it now? Or will you do it later? Because
mm-hmm.
frequency is very important. It elevates our mind so that it stimulates the strength to help us do what we need to do to make that change. And a lot of times, if we are not in the right place, hearing the right things, you will become distracted, and those distractions can deter you. So it's real important to understand that life will come. It's going to throw us some surprises. So it's important that you find your own frequency. It's in you. All you have to do is locate it. And day 2 of that conference, of that curriculum, is that confidence. Confidence is the key. And that's the
Yes.
opportunity where you learn how it is that you cultivate your soul, your look, your style, and you develop your own style so that when you go out, when you make that entrance, you have so much confidence in yourself that it eludes into whoever you are presenting to, whoever you are confronting, and that power ignites to them, and they don't know why, but they be so
Mm-hmm.
intrigued by you. And then they begin to accept what it is you have to offer. You know, a lot of times you may see different couples and you might say, well, he's handsome and she's not so gorgeous, or
Mm-hmm.
she's just drop dead gorgeous and he's not. How did they end up together? But that's one of those, it's the frequency. We're not looking at the outside, we're not looking at the physical attributes. It was that soul connection. And that's the frequency that we're saying that we want you to find within yourself to build that strength. And then day 3 is cultivating the world around you. Now is the time that we have to understand it's time to cut ties. There are some people we got to get out of our lives. That don't mean
Mm-hmm.
don't mean you them. All it means, in order for you to get to where you need to be, there's a blockage. And that frequency is being blocked by all that. Anytime you got somebody always, well, girl, I would do this for this. Well, girl, well, man, I wouldn't do this. Man, everybody always got a situation for you. Sometimes you don't even ask. But it's the wrong frequency. So it's
Mm-hmm.
all about being able set yourself in a place where you can own the room. So it's finding your frequency. It's a 3-day masterclass. It's June 21st through the 23rd. It's online, 6:30 to 7:30. It's only 1 hour for 3 nights. It's for $97, and it will include workbook. It will include a chance of a lifetime journal, and you will also receive a certificate of self-development. So for $97, you'll receive that. And I am actually offering till this week only, for whoever enroll in the Finding Your Frequency,
Mm-hmm.
you will receive a membership for one of 3 classes for 1 year. And that membership you can choose from life coaching, spiritual coaching, or career coaching. And for 30 minutes for 12 months, your membership if you in the 3-day masterclass for June 21st through the 23rd. So everybody, I'm a giver. And my husband tells me sometimes, you're giving away all your worth. You're giving away too much of your value. And I know what he means. I know what he's saying. But
Mm-hmm.
sometimes in that soul tribe, it goes back to, it's not always about getting. And when the spirit tells me to give, that's what I do. So this week he told me to give. So I'm like, okay, I said 3 days. The spirit said, no, do it a week. So from Monday till Friday, for anyone that choose to enroll in the Finding Your Frequency Masterclass on self-expression and self-authenticity, $97. This week, you will receive a free membership to one of those 3 classes, like coaching, spiritual, or career coaching. And how about this? What if one of those is not yours and you need a customized session? We'll do that for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you want a customized session for a year, we'll do that for you because it's a membership. So you're joining a membership this week if you enroll in the master class.
So let me understand what you're saying here. First, let me pay some respect to Andre. I'm glad you're here. Lovey, so good to see you. Patricia, thank you for coming. Salute. I want to make sure I don't miss anybody because I'm honored to have you. Barbara, thank you for being here. Lazy Bone, it's so good to see you. Thank you, everybody. And I certainly appreciate you guys for staying with us. I hope that everybody hit the like button and share this with somebody. Maybe you can't use this information, but you know someone that can. So please share, like, comment, and don't be shy if you want to hit the Cash App. It's available. So I thank you. But it's one thing that I want to say to you. Wilma had a question, but I wanted to make sure. You're saying if you sign up for your class, is this because I didn't understand this. If you sign up for your class today for the $97 for that three, that they would get one of those classes for a whole year for free. Is that what I understood? Can you hear
Yes,
me, Carolyn?
absolutely.
Okay.
You understood it
Okay.
absolutely correct.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you. Yes,
Y'all take credit cards?
you're absolutely correct, Charles. For anyone, we do take credit cards.
Okay.
Yes, there it
Fantastic.
actually there was a Cash App and Zelle, and it's actually on my website. It's on my website, and it's also on my Facebook page. But you can go to the website, click on upcoming events, click on it, and it will give you everything you need to know. It will even give you an opportunity to register. And there are two ways that you can Cash App or Zelle, and it is on there. And feel free to visit my website and learn so much more about the finding your frequency, your masterclass on
Well,
self-expression and
that's beautiful.
self-authenticity.
I didn't expect to hear
Yes, ma'am.
that.
We're going to be looking at different ways to yeah, we're going to be looking for different ways that people could learn. Just feel embrace communication, leadership techniques, just things that's going to make us a greater person, so that we
Hmm.
can enhance the community that we live in, so that we can have true ownership of the tribe that we are in.
That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And sometimes you're freezing up,
Yes,
and that's probably because of the weather. I don't know what is it like where you are, but it's storming here. But Wilma also, she has great questions, and she wanted to ask you.
yes.
So, and how long would you say one has to put in the work before they can expect to see progress?
Good question, Wilma. And that the answer to that question is absolutely left up to that individual and how they
Hmm.
process the process. Because
Yes.
every curriculum is designed with we do the assessment, and then we do have the customized curriculum to what your goals are, what your end goal is, what are some of the triggers, what are some of the barriers that we see could get in the way. And then we look at scenarios of, we always like to do 3 scenarios, because for
Hmm.
every situation, one, just a backup plan is not going to do. It's always good to have 3 different scenarios of how you're going to handle a situation, a decision, or a circumstance. Because if you have 3 different scenarios, then you have an opportunity to have a better bounce back, a better comeback, than getting derailed about, oh, that your backup didn't work. So it's an individual basis. So Wilma, I would say,
Hmm.
depending on what your goal is, depending on what your life improvement stance is, depending on what phase of the journey and development that you're actually partaking on, that is going to determine how long it's going to take that individual to actually give things. In my learnings, in my program, I have seen people make a serious turnaround in 3 to 4 weeks. I had a young lady who was having real bad problems. She had lost her job. She and her boyfriend had broken up, and she was just ready to give everything up. She just felt hopeless. She felt like,
Mm.
I don't think I'll ever find love again. And the thing about it was finding love in yourself first. So
Yes.
when an opportunity to share videos, I would send her motivational, like Lisa Nichols, Les Brown. But every day I made sure she started her day with with not only an affirmation, but some power talk. Because it's one thing to come from your your spiritual advisor, to from your coach, from your parent. But when you hear it from another sector, sometimes it resonates a little bit better. So sometimes I
Mm-hmm.
always would give them that extra nugget, that extra piece of, they said, oh, Lisa Nichols went through what I went through. Yeah, Lisa Nichols had some things, whoever. And then they began to resonate that my stuff isn't so bad after all. And
Mm-hmm.
from that experience, she started calling me because one day I was a little later than I normally do in getting her the actual affirmation or the motivating speech. I had sent it to her, but it was in a different format. She called. She said, "Miss Jones, I don't have my speech today." She called it her speech. I don't have my speech today, and I said it's there. So we navigated. She found it, and within 3 weeks, 4 weeks, she had said, "You know what? I think I'm going to take you up on your offer." And she decided she wanted to open up her own business. So I started helping her through the EIN and things of that nature. That of what it really, some of the things that it took. So that was a fast turnaround, but that's was because she already had something inside of her. But I think it was that part of the journey where sometimes you have to be the springboard. And so when once that springboard is launched, easier for you to take that dive into the pool. It's kind of like that double dutch. We all go back to the double dutch, and we're there and we're balancing, trying to see when am I in, so when I do land, I can balance with the ropes and not let the ropes entangle around my feet. But one of those times you're standing there and you're balancing, you're trying to figure it out, and you finally just take that jump in. And so I feel, Ma, that it just varies from each individual and each subject.
Okay, that was a real good answer. I have to put some respect on some names here. I see that Uncle Shug joined me, and it is a pleasure, Uncle Shug. And I see some of my favorites. All of these guys support me in any chat I go in, and it's so good to see them in my chat. And that's Chase
Totally
and
awesome.
yeah, Milwaukee Jeff and Jim Wines. Thank you for coming. Uncle Shug sent you. Thank you, Uncle Shug. Prime Time. Thank you for being here. Bumper with the hands. Thank you for being here. Okay, my niece. I see you still with me. And Prince Moore. Thank you for being here. Okay, Carolyn, we're getting real close to winding down. We're getting close to the hour. And I have one last question for you. And that was, what are some of your challenges? If you can sum that up, you know, and tell us what are some of your challenges, and something that people might would say, after listening to her, I might need a life coach in this area of my life.
Sure. I want to thank you for that, because one thing about challenges in life is just that they are challenges, and they come at all diversities of your life. And the very first part of my challenges was the belief in myself that people don't want to hear what I have to say. And I had to
Mm-hmm.
get over the challenge of understanding that if people didn't want to hear what you have to say, why are so many people calling you? Why are so many people um, just you? And why is it that for every entity that needs to be done, somebody, oh, call Carolyn, she can do it. Call Carolyn, she can do
Mm-hmm.
it. And then I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I had to get over the biggest challenge of do it. I had to get over the challenge of just accepting myself. I'm a dark skinned chocolate sister. I'm the darkest one of my entire family. I went through a whole life almost of accepting the beauty that's inside of me, accepting the
Mm.
outside of me. And the biggest one of my biggest challenges was that I saw, and this was me growing up, that the lighter complected individuals and ladies seemed to get more attention. They seemed to, the value was put on what they had to say. And I just stopped talking sometimes because I'm like, nobody wants to hear me. They're not listening. When I did kind of almost like an experiment in one of my classes, and I did the entire essay. I told them what to say. And when they actually did it, and the teacher called on them, word verbatim what I had written on my essay. And you know what? Oh, the teacher just gloried and gloried and gloried. And when she found out that it was actually me who had written the expose, they were like, oh, she can write. But it was that, and it's been those challenges that I had to get over in accepting that there is some greatness inside of me. So as I said, I'm the darkest one in my family, and I saw a lot of favor getting shown to some of my lighter skinned siblings and lighter skinned cousins, and I thought that there was no value in me until I realized that my teacher, I had a teacher in the 8th grade, and she said to me one day, she said, "Oh, where are you from, sweetheart?" And I'm like, "I'm from here. I'm a Southern girl. I'm from Arkansas." So she said, "Oh no, I mean, where are you originally from? Because I know you're not from here." And I'm like, "Oh yes, I was born and raised here." She said, "Oh, but you articulate so well and you dress so well. You have that." And she began to give me all of these accolades. And that was the very first time that I was able to see that somebody believed in me, somebody thought enough of me, that the very next time I looked in that mirror, all the beauty that she saw. And so getting past that challenge and fast forwarding to where we are now, other challenges stood as, of course, everything takes finances. And you think you're ready to get started, but then here comes the finances. And so mastering through paying for this, you get through, you need this for your website, you need this, and you think, "Oh, I can do that myself. I can do that myself." But then really it gets down to it. Sometimes you have to pay professional services for professional results. So just getting through the challenges of getting my content. Sometimes I have to get past, oh, what is, but I have to release, breathe, meditate, get my frequencies right. And that's all a part that I had to learn in learning myself, discovering myself, having those discovery moments.
Oh, okay. Fantastic. So, as we wind down, what I'd like for you to
Yeah,
do
yeah.
is to give them your information, if you don't mind saying it again. I'd like for you to give them your IG information, your Facebook information, and your website information because we're getting close to the hour. Well, if they have a question, we want to
Okay,
answer someone's
sure.
question.
Yes, my FaceTime, very much so. Yes, ma'am. My
Unfortunately,
website, it's
hold on one second, Carolyn. Hold on. Can you hear me, Carolyn?
www.chanceofalifetimecoaching.com.
Carolyn, can you hear me? For some reason,
Yes,
you're
I can,
going in and out.
Cheryl.
Okay, you're freezing
Yes.
up. So try it one more time for me. I'm sorry. I think I was talking over you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
www.chanceofalifetimecoaching.com. www.chanceofalifetimecoaching.com is my website. My Instagram is Chance of a Lifetime Coaching. My Facebook, a Lifetime Coaching. I am also on Twitter. I'm on LinkedIn as Carolyn Jones. And I'm on TikTok, COAL, Chance of a Lifetime Coaching.
Oh,
Those
that's
are my
beautiful.
areas of finding me, follow me, answer any questions. Yes.
That's beautiful. Well, yeah, I just want y'all to know that Carolyn is one of the people, one of the weeks when I ask if on a Sunday, if anybody want to come up and showcase their talent, if anybody want to come up and, tell their business, maybe you have a writing service or whatever you do, if you want to be interviewed on Tuesdays, that's what Let's Give Them Something to Talk About is all about. It's for you to come and let the world see you. And Carolyn was kind
Yeah.
enough to respond. And so, of course, I had to ask her to come on. And it's really a pleasure and a joy. And I'm so very glad that you did answer to the chat wants an answer to a question. What up, Dimple D? I see you creeping in when the time is up, but you made it. Hi.
I like to
Nee
say hi to my
Jones.
sis. It looks like Bernie's Foreman. And so I want to say
Oh,
hey to my sis. Look like I see her out there.
yes, yes, she's here. So tell her hi. Worldwide, you just spoke to her. That's
Yeah, she
beautiful.
is my number one supporter. She
Oh,
is there for
fantastic.
me. Ever since my mom passed, yeah.
Okay. So how long ago was it that your mom passed?
My mom passed over 12 years ago.
Okay.
And every day it seems like it was yesterday.
Yesterday. I
She
know
was
the
my
feeling. My
friend
mom
from the
passed
day I went to
29.
college to the day she passed. Yes. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
But it's
But
been 29 years for
it
me.
is. But you know what? And I don't know, but I want to say to people out there, I do believe in being able to feel my ancestors. Every morning, I have a cup of coffee with my mom. Yes, I do. I make my cup of coffee and I make hers, flavor it just like she likes it, put it on that altar, and we have our sip. So don't be afraid of the spirits. Let the spirit guide you. Let the spirit
Yes.
love you. And with that
Yes.
spirit, you can love on someone that needs that love. Because believe it or not, someone out there needs that they are valued. And that
Well,
somebody
I'm gonna tell you.
can
I'm gonna tell
be
you,
helped
Carolyn. I have to
through
cut you
you.
off.
So don't be afraid.
Carolyn, I have to cut you off because they want you to answer a question. They have a question for you. It looked like you froze up.
Okay.
Okay. Now they have a question. Wilma asked the question. You know, Wilma got some good questions. She asked the question, but the audience wants you to answer this question. With COVID, I feel like everyone is suffering from, I might be reading it wrong. Hold on. With COVID, I feel everyone is suffering a bit of PTSD on top of everyday stresses. How would you handle the stress of the super stressor? Now, can I interject with that? I think we all suffer from PTSD, and I call that post slavery
Mm-hmm.
disorder. It's post traumatic slave disorder. And I got
Mm-hmm.
that from Dr. Umar Johnson. And that's what it is
Absolutely.
because we've never, ever had anybody to ever, come to us and make right the wrong because we're still living under the wrong today. So, having said that, with everything that they've added on top of it and the stresses of COVID, they would like for you to answer, from what you know as a life coach, how you would tackle that.
Yes, the pandemic, COVID, the effects of COVID, the loss of loved ones during COVID absolutely has brought a traumatic amount of digressing of who we are and being able to be positive in our potentiality. But I would therapeutic part of it is engaging into a, an enhanced self-care. I do mindfulness. I offer mindfulness to my constituents for coaching, and it's getting that meditation, getting the activity, how to have effective meditation, how to have effective self-care, how to integrate that self-care into activities. And it often requires people doing something out of the box that they have never done. So it's a newness, it's an elevation of elevating up because you have to get outside of where you've been. So I do therapeutic mindfulness as a part of an integrated program that has helped many of my constituents who have been dealing with the panic, um, COVID, the pandemic, and of course the effects of it.
Okay. So, anybody, did that help you guys, or mindfulness and meditation? That's what Don Holland says. Salute Don for being here. Miss Maggie, I love you. Ronald Jones, thank you for passing through. I really love the support. One thing I can tell you is to continue to do what you're doing, Carolyn, because you are much needed. We all say that we want to build and we want to be positive, but are we really telling the truth? And if not, what is it going to take for us to get real? A lot of the things
Mm-hmm.
that's happening in the world today is happening for us.
Yeah.
It's called messing with our mental, our brains, so that we can think less of who
Mm-hmm.
we are and we can live in fear, because that's how they ruled,
Absolutely.
in fear. I would like to know if you would be willing, and we can discuss it later, to come back for another Tuesday with Carolyn, because what you're giving is so needed. And I would like to know if you would like to do that.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Then we'll
Absolutely.
speak
I
about
would
that.
love to. And
I'm sorry, you cut off. We didn't get to hear what you said.
absolutely.
Okay. On that note, everybody, I'm going to tell y'all.
Absolutely. I would love to come back.
Fantastic. Well, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. We're getting ready to wind down. And what I want to tell everybody that was here when we had the county clerk, the Honorable John Warren, right now the race is over at 7 p.m. Right now he's leading 63%. So we can hopefully
Very
say
good.
without any equivocation that he won. So that's really a good sign, because he's a swell guy. And I'm going to have him back too, so that he can let us know what he has planned for the future. Carolyn, this Tuesday couldn't have been Tuesday without you. So I thank you with all my heart
Oh,
for
thank
coming
you.
on
Thank
and
you.
talking with our people. And people, all I
Thanks for
ask is that
inviting
you
me.
keep coming back, because it's going to get better. And what I mean is better for us as individuals, as we learn how to what? Take care of ourselves, and to what? First, love ourselves. Because that's our biggest problem. We think other people are
That's
our
right.
problems. They don't compare to us.
Mhm.
No one. It's us.
No, that's right.
It's us.
That's right.
And so
And
what
real
I would say,
quickly, I want people to understand that don't get the meditation and prayer. A lot of people will miss out on the meditation and the therapeutic part because they're thinking it's replacing the prayer. We're not,
mm,
it's not about replacing your fundamental religious system. It's a spiritual aspect to take care of the whole holistic part.
and that's true, because really, well, what I've learned, and I say this every 5 seconds, and we are going to close because I'm trying to just stick to my hour. But what I've learned, Carolyn, is when
Yeah,
I learned what true religion is, most of what we know as religion is dogma. And true religion is the study of nature and how our bodies harmonize with nature. And so when you learn that spirit means breath, so that's why yoga is important, because it teaches you how to
mhm,
breathe. Once you learn how to breathe, then that helps you with your
absolutely.
frequency, because we're not into metaphysics, but we do have a metaphysical body. That's why our insides tell us when something is right or wrong. You know it because you feel it.
Mhm,
And so that's very good. That's very,
absolutely.
very good. So I thank you for being with us, Brian. Thank you for coming. I appreciate everybody. I hope to see you guys in the Tiger's Den on Sunday. I'm gonna try to give y'all a blast. And until next time, we're going to say goodbye.
Peace and bliss.
This video was made for education and entertainment purposes only. There's no malice or ill intent from the content creator. So please like, share, and subscribe, and have a great evening. Good night.